Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Them Tech Folks. Okay, we coming back in hot with episode 28. Right, me and Reggie, we're gonna do it Olo, just the guys this time around, and we actually trying a new format, and we hope y'all like that. We talked about the decisions around going with the new format, which is not a new format per se. We've been meaning to do this for a minute, but we just kind of got around to doing it. But we really discussed webcams. A lot of you guys probably wondering, oh, what webcams? It's just like an easy conversation that we can start out with. So it was kind of fun talking about webcams. We You can't have a show, I don't think, without talking about AI nowadays. So we definitely hit on that a little bit. And then, some of the last stuff that we hit on, which is probably the most important stuff right now with this week, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, because this week we got B-Sides Tampa 2025 that's in a full effect, right? And yours truly is going to be delivering a class, an 8-hour course on Kubernetes, securing and deploying Kubernetes for beginners. So I'm going to be doing that with a few of my friends. It's going to be a pretty exciting class. Got word last week that we actually sold out. So if you didn't make it this time around, check us out next time. We may try another conference if it works out well and it's well received. So be on the lookout for that. But without further ado, I hope y'all enjoy the show. I hope we didn't cut up too much and get ourselves canceled. But yeah, let us know what you think. Like, why do people want to turn their cameras off? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, hopefully my manager doesn't watch this podcast. But my manager gotta add that little piece on there just so you know it's not a real person.
Hell, sir, can you step back?
Being comfortable at home.
I appreciate you clarifying, because I thought I was gonna have to exit. By crazy, take crazy out and insert weird. I don't know if that's better. Is that still offensive? I don't want to trigger nobody. No. For real. Why you bring it up then if you ain't gonna share? That's the stuff that people want to hear about. The stuff they ain't supposed to hear about.
I just wanted to put my headphones and go in the corner because I just didn't want to, it was hard for me to interact.
I know some of y'all are pooping during meetings and what? Why do you never care about what I thought for the first 25 minutes? Why are you caring about what I think right now as we get ready to close out? Like, what do you mean, man? Like, I try to
run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off.
You fuck with that soft week thing this week?
Man, I see, there it is again. No, I really haven't had time for it, man. You know what? You know what I think might be going on? They got this new requirement for us where to access any resources, we gotta do this Azure VPN thing. So I just turned off VPN. Now
that's why it's not working right for you.
Well, I noticed the upload wasn't working. So I think the upload's working now. It was kind of like stalling, so maybe it'll catch up now. But yeah, man, it's a new rule, man. Can't access some of the alternative resources without the VPN now. So
that's
I understand. Yeah,
I'm surprised that's a new rule. Surprised ain't already.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So for another soft thing, man. So I got invited to a few things, but it's just not. I just haven't had the time. And plus, my wife works first 3 days out of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So usually a wrap for me those days. I got Nazar and stuff like that. So I may try to hit something tomorrow. Is my plan. Definitely Thursday if I can.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on though, because I ain't really tuned in like I used to be when I used to work over at Syncom. So
I have no idea what's out there. I'm gonna check it out. Our company.
Well, I know you need tickets though, right? They go a lot of stuff.
Well, we support SOCOM, so I got a SOCOM email. So yeah, I already registered, but I wasn't gonna go because there was at first it was telling us we had to we had to use PTO to go, and I was like, nah.
You don't have to use PTO for happy hour.
That's but I actually enjoy walking around, looking at the new tech and talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Talking to the different vendors about like what they got going on. You know, sometimes some cool shit.
You know what I would love though, man? It'd be really, really cool. Like if I could take my son to see those demos.
That would be cool. Because like that one year, they probably got it now, but I think last year they had the robot dog. You know what I mean? I think kids will like that shit.
Nah, I think the coolest one I saw was that when they were like doing like boats and helicopters and all that stuff out in the water.
Oh yeah,
out over the bay like that. Yeah, it's like I'm really appreciating doing the solo shows. I mean, we can do guests, and I appreciate guests, you know, as always. But sometimes I think a lot of podcasts and you know just us talking is actually good too. I think sometimes. So I'm digging the whole. That's why I feel like the concept of us just getting on here talking is good too.
I mean, I think this is like we should have made this our primary. You know what I mean? We kind of got caught up in doing it. I enjoy doing the interviews. Like it's cool.
No, it's good.
Hearing about other people's like journey and how they got into tech is very interesting stuff. And I think that's very appealing to like people that are hopeful to get into tech. That was kind of like why I was really like beating that drum so hard. But I do feel like the reason why we got into this space of doing a podcast is so we can kind of like talk about the things that we find to be interesting and the concerns that we have. And, just our outlook about, what's going on in the industry and what's going on in our own careers. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like we doing our own type interview, type shit. But yeah, I'm glad we definitely came back around, eventually to start having these conversations. Because, I mean, we have a lot of good conversations, whether we go to, Cigar International and we kind of like doing our own thing, working and having a little conversation. Over some drinks or, a cigar or two or whatever. So, yeah.
So, with that being said, though, I did write down a couple topics we should cover, right?
You wrote down some topics?
Well,
You're so organized.
Well, I'm not organized.
I call you Mr. Co-Pilot.
So, here's the thing, bro.
What?
I can do really good when I wing it, but sometimes my wife told me like the other day, she was like, I was in this meeting and she was in the kitchen and I'm in the office talking and she was like, yeah, you were kind of messing up in the beginning. It's like, yeah, because I just kind of went in there, didn't know what I was going to say. And she was like, at the beginning, I mean, she said eventually, I got it together. But yeah, but at first I was like, I wasn't stuttering, but I was like, and then oohing a lot. So that's why I kind of like to have at least, in a meeting, it was my meeting.
You were oohing in a meeting.
Yeah, I was oohing and So the thing about it is,
who's the meeting though? I can't leave that. I can't get back.
So sometimes, dude, when I be like going on these weird tangents, I be like, I be like, whoa. But it's an internal.
That's outrageous.
So the funny thing about it is that it was my meeting. I called it and I wrote the agenda and everything for it. But it was just one of those days, man. It's back to back to back. And I was just like, man, I got this meeting now. I'm ready to call it a day. And you best believe I cut it short, though. I was like, hey, y'all got anything else? Because I'm about to wrap it up. I had the camera on like this.
Yeah, have your cameras on?
What we do internal sometimes, especially when it's my meeting.
I used to have my camera on all the time. But it started getting weird because I'm like the only person with my camera on. And so I just like started turning that shit off, bro.
That is definitely a topic of thought, a thought process, right? Cameras on or off.
Like why do people want to turn their cameras off? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, hopefully my manager doesn't watch this podcast, but my manager.
Everybody watches this podcast. What are you talking about?
But my manager always has her camera on. And when she does a one-on-one, she wants her camera on.
Yeah.
Especially when she's doing a one-on-one, because she's like, I like that she likes to read people's reaction when she says something.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the big reason for having your camera on, because so much conversation or so much communication, right?
Non-visual
gets lost.
Non-verbal.
Exactly, non-verbal communication gets lost when you don't have the visual. You know what I mean? So it's always good to have cameras on. I feel, just so you can like read people's expression and get a vibe of like, okay, we hot, we cold. They enjoying it, what I'm saying, or they kind of like not really liking it, but they don't want to say something. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
So, and the best one is the nonverbal communication when you forget your camera's on. That's another good verbal communication.
What you mean?
I've been on a couple calls where people forgot the camera was on, and it was pretty funny.
Wow.
I'm surprised somebody didn't get canceled because they didn't know the camera was on. They were mocking somebody with the camera on, didn't realize the camera was on. I was like, wow, dude. Somebody had to break in and be like, that's really, really rude. I can't believe you're doing that. And I was like, what? Did you? And I was like, whoa, did that break? It was crazy, dude. So for everybody out there, man, if you decide to go on camera, do remember your camera is on and your mic is hot too, because it can get weird if you don't pay attention.
A hot mic could be a situation.
Imagine a hot mic. Imagine a hot camera. That's even worse.
But I mean, the hot mic is more of an issue because you're more likely to not notice the little mic icon, not because what is they got a line through it or not. You may or may not see that. But when your camera's on, you can usually see yourself on the screen. You know what I mean? It ain't, it don't matter how many people are in that meeting. Your little screen is gonna be there if your camera's on. You know what I mean? So you just not paying attention.
See that when you see your face light up, that's what I be checking for.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
So, but yeah, man, a lot of the people that I see as we talk about the whole expressions and everything like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people I see that always turn their camera on, or I don't want to say they're salespeople, but they're salesy type people.
Yeah, because they need that stuff.
Exactly right.
They need that stuff.
If I'm trying to sell something, I want to see your face. I want to see how when I try to. Hey, how do you like this product? I mean, that's part of sales, right? Reading that nonverbal body language. That's why a lot of salespeople like to go in person a lot of times.
Yeah,
hey, can I come in for a site visit as opposed to some Teams call? Teams is great, but it's nothing like that up close and personal, reading people's body language. I mean, that's part of the thing that's missing in a lot of this remote work, right? Because most people never turn their cameras on. You know that. Never.
Why do people turn them off, though, is my question. Why do you think people, have a preference for turning the camera on? You think they're, just doing other shit?
Most of the time, you're doing other stuff. A lot of times when you're at home, right? I know one girl, she was telling me that she started working from home, and she was having challenges working from home. So what she did is that when she woke up in the morning, she got dressed like she was going to the office. Mm-hmm. Most people don't do that. Oh,
so she's got a ritual to kind of snap herself into that persona, I guess.
But she does that by dressing the part. Yeah. I'll be completely honest with you. Before I get on this interview, I had a house t-shirt on. I had to throw on a polo. And I'm usually in a house t-shirt before I get on camera.
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah.
It could have been worse, man. You could have said you was wearing a muumuu or something.
You know what? If it's comfortable, I ain't mad at nobody.
Don't.
I ain't mad at. Look, if it's comfortable and you feel like it's comfortable at home, if you home by yourself, hey, you
committed to the wrong thing, brother.
Hey, brother. I'm not the one to do it, but I understand that. I understand the power of being comfortable at home.
I appreciate you clarifying because I thought I was gonna have to exit.
The funny thing, I actually keep a shirt in a drawer. I have a drawer right here. I keep a shirt.
You really gonna go back and commit to it?
I have a shirt that I keep in the drawer, so if I know I'm going to be on camera,
does your shirt go down to your knees?
Nah, it's a work shirt. It's a work. If I'm at home and I got on my house clothes, if I need to get on camera, I have my little work shirt.
Right.
I pull it out the drawer and I pop it on real quick and I say, okay, bam, camera's on.
I've heard of people having a hat, even a hat hanging outside the door of their office, their home office. And when they go into work, they put the hat on. And that's the signal that, dad is at work and they snap to it, I guess, And when they get off, they take the hat off. And that's how they separate their personal and work lives. That makes sense.
Luckily, I don't have a household like that, right? Where I got a full household where I have to control that. Usually, most of the day when I'm at work, my son's at school. Yeah. So, and my wife's usually in the bed because she works nights. And I go... And you know me, man. I go to the office a lot. Yeah. And when I say the office, I mean my office, which is CI.
So you go international is your office? That's your home office?
They don't. We don't have an office in Tampa anymore.
Oh, they got rid of that one?
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
that's my office now. And I said, like, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to the office, baby. She knows.
She knows.
She knows. When I say I'm going to the office, she knows exactly where I'm going.
Did she pack you a lunch?
If I ask her to, she will. She could be a sweetheart sometimes. Sometimes she get on my nerves.
Sometimes. Dang, bro, you're not doing yourself no favors. you can lie. I'm not gonna expose you.
Hey, the thing about it is like, and I sit in that same seat most of the time too, because that's right by the plug and everything. I had them double monitors hooked up. Battery runs low. Yeah, man, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I like it up there because it's big, it's open. I can talk loud as I want. Like I've been to some other places, and when you get on the phone and you start talking, people be like, "Dang, why you got to be so loud?" You know, or they kind of look over at you, or they kind of listen in on your conversation. Out there, everybody mind their business. I never seen nobody like leaning over with their ear, like listening to what I'm saying.
While you at CI.
Yeah, because everybody minding their business, and a lot of times people are working just like I am up there.
I've never had that happen to me though, like in public. Like if I was like working somewhere, I've never had anybody like. Well, I've never caught somebody like trying to pry into like what I have, you know, going on my system. That's like weird energy right there. You look up and somebody's like looking over your shoulder. Hey, what are you doing? The hell, sir? Can you step back?
Oh, I got a privacy screen on mine because I know I work out. I know I work remote a lot, so I bought a privacy screen.
Yeah. I haven't had that problem, so I don't have. I probably should have a privacy screen, I guess, if I'm working, you know, in the wild.
In the wild, you want nigga work? Hey, boy, working in the jungle.
It feels like the jungle sometimes, man. People are,
really?
You know, yeah, man. People are characters, bro. So unpredictable at times, you know. But hey, it's the crazy world we live in.
It is, man. I'm out here grinding every day, so I feel the pain that everybody goes through when they say it's a jungle.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things, it was one of the things I kind of wanted to bring to you today that I want to talk about. And honestly, I thought there would be something that you'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm feeling that." It was a topic that was brought up by somebody else. I don't know if you know my boy Elliot. We interviewed him before.
Yeah.
Elliot's really into DevOps.
Elliot Fields.
Elliot, yeah, he's really into DevOps and stuff, right? Like, you know, stuff like that. So one of the things they talked about was, and I wrote this down: the death of local dev environments, cloud-based dev environments, the future.
Yeah, I think so, man. You know, they got some pretty good, you know, web IDEs, and so you don't even have to have like a lot of stuff on your local system, like toolage wise, you know. So, that's a pretty good conversation, though.
Yeah, I thought about you when I heard it.
Yeah,
the pros, the cons, what it means for, and the other thing that they brought up, and it was pros, cons, and what it means for onboarding and security.
I think that'd be a good conversation to, you know, call him back. And there's some other DevOps, DevSecOps types that we've had on the show that I think having two of those guys in to talk about, you know, how they both see it from their corners of that segment within the industry. I think that'd be a great discussion.
So what's your thoughts on it though?
I don't think I'm like as like entrenched in it to have a real opinion about it, you know, because I don't really do a whole lot of like development. I work more on infrastructure and platform.
But I mean, real life, you know, you don't have a bunch of servers and switches for your labs and stuff anymore, right? You know what I mean? I don't. All my lab, even my on-prem environment is in the cloud now. I don't do. I gave my my ESX host per se, like it was my old ESX host. I gave it to my son for his computer now.
So you say when you say local DevOps versus cloud DevOps, right? I'm thinking like DevOps. Like,
I'm thinking of environments.
Okay, so that's different. That's different for me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But for me, that's when I'm thinking about when I hear the term environments and developing and environments and stuff like that. I get what you're saying.
It sounds like you're speaking more for like local infrastructure versus cloud infrastructure.
Yes.
Okay.
That too. That was part of the conversation too. Maybe I should have went to that. But the whole went from like DevOps and developing to like, you know, standing up labs. I mean, it kind of evolved into that, right? Like, it was like one of those situations where it was like, yeah, man, my lab, and I have a DevOps. When I want to stand up a lab, I hit a button, it spins up a lab, and it adds everything I wanted it. And then when I want to, I just tear it down, and then I spin another one up when I have another something going on. And it was kind of going into that conversation a little bit.
The infrastructure as code piece. Yeah,
I was really impressed with that conversation. I don't know much about it. I can follow instructions, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean that's a real thing. And there's a lot of conversation to be had about that, and there's a lot of conversation to be had about using the new tools to create these tools or create these things. There's a lot of AI based systems that will do a lot of this stuff, or will create the plays in the code even, right, for a lot of this stuff. The stuff that I've seen and done and played with, it don't really seem like all the way there, to be honest, but it's not too far off though. I've been able to get 70%, I guess, which is significant. You don't have to you at least got a good scaffolding to play with, and build from. That's better than building something from scratch, 100%. And then the other thing I enjoy about that versus piecemealing something together from scratch is that it'll generally give you some information about different components within your code, especially if it's something that you're not really doing often. Okay, well, I haven't used that type of I don't know, conditional or whatever, right? Maybe you're a little rusty on using conditionals within Helm. I'm playing around with Helm right now, so the way they do loops and if statements and stuff like that, it's a little new because of the syntax. So maybe you have a question about that. You can get a little bit more fidelity about that certain aspect within the code. Hey, can you explain this? And I mean, it's cool. It's like having a smart guy right there where he's telling you, hey, you can do this thing that you're trying to do like this, and then you got little follow-on question that you can ask, and you don't have to reverb everything. You just kind of go into it, and it's like having a conversation with a person. Obviously it's not a person, but
you gotta add that little piece on there just so it's not a real person,
bro.
They're not your friend.
I saw this article. I don't know if it was trolling or if it was legitimate, but it was saying that when people say thank you to AI models, it causes millions of dollars in additional workload.
It wastes resources because it doesn't care. And when you address it and stuff like that, when you say hey, because the thing about it is, right, when you say thank you, especially to a voice code, most of the time it does say you're welcome, and that's processing this ridiculous. Doesn't need to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I've even started saying people say don't even start with a greeting. I know some people's hey, how's it going, hey, how's it going, chat?
That's crazy, right? I feel that's crazy. I mean, I don't want to be. I don't mean to sound offensive when I say it's crazy. By crazy, take crazy out and insert weird. I don't know if that's better. Is that still offensive? I don't want to trigger nobody, but it's different, right? It's different. Mm-hmm. We'll go with different. It's different because you're using salutations, and giving thanks to something that really is not a person, And granted, I know you don't have to be a person. People think they pets for doing the right things and stuff like that. But it's you thinking code, and you're saying good morning to code. That's different. Should we be doing that? Why would you do that? Does it feel does it feel disrespected if you just come and ask for something? And is it gonna retort with hey, look, man, you can at least say good morning. You should come in here.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine, dude? Could you imagine if Copilot was you could at least say good morning?
Yeah. Damn, motherfucker. Do you treat your wife like this? Co-pilot
man.
snapping, getting sassy.
So, but I will tell you, shout out to Moonshots. It's a podcast where they have like next level people, right?
Moonshots.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
it's a podcast where they have next level people. We're talking like people that are major venture capitalists, billions of dollars, and invented all kind of stuff you never even heard of. That's
Important
pretty much
people.
Yeah. So they did talk about
They ain't had me on this
companionship.
show.
They ain't had me either, bro. But there is something called the
losing.
abundant. There is something called an abundance convention.
Yeah.
Abundance, which is the name of the convention. I was like, dang, that sounds pretty cool. But they did say that one of the number one business models for AI in the future will be companionship.
I can see that. I mean, I think they're already like playing with that somewhere.
Oh, there's digital girlfriends. Yeah, I mean that's a thing, man. That's a thing. So we do that because it is, maybe we are looking for that. That is that human connection that people are looking for, especially if we're staying in the house and not really interacting with people, right?
That's different. And by we, I just want to say I'm not included in that we. I like cuddling up, with something warm and soft. Machine is not gonna be that. I can't see Machine being that, bro. Not for me. Like, I'm too old school for that. I leave that to like the young ones. But
put a heater on your pillow.
Shout out to whoever needs it though, because I mean, mental health is a thing. That's another conversation that needs to be had more. I think we've hit it a few times with some guests,
we did.
but that needs to be its own show, because that's a real thing. Mental health, interpersonal, conflicts within the workplace. That's a thing. A lot of people, that I talk to, they don't know how to navigate these situations. They don't know how to, reach out when they're struggling with something in their personal lives because they feel it's a grievous encroachment upon their professional lives. And unfortunately, they put a higher precedence on their professional lives and their personal lives because, there's an obligation to provide. And that's a hard scenario to slice. But we'll get to that when we talk about that. I think right now we're supposed to be talking about what are these people doing with their damn cameras off, man? Like, what are y'all doing, man? Are y'all like naked? Are you walking around with like a t-shirt and underwear on, like boxers or something?
Yeah.
And flip flops?
I'm pretty sure the answer is yes and yes.
That's crazy.
I've never been bold enough to do the whole sitting in the meeting. I've never been bold enough to just be sitting in underwear on a call or something like that. I've never had that boldness, but I'm sure there's some people that have. Oh, I can't.
Not even not underwear, but like not even pajamas. You ain't set up there with like some basketball shorts and an A shirt.
Now I have like I have like after this meeting I got to go run an errand or something like that, so I'll change clothes like while I'm on the meeting. But I make sure the camera's off, and most of the time the mic is off too. And I'll like hit the button because I have a conference mic, right? So that's a big thing. When my mic is off, when my mic is on, it's a microphone. When it's off, I have a big red button sitting there. So if I don't look and see that big red button, I'm assuming my mic is on.
But do you use this mic right here that you're using right now?
No, I have when I'm at work, I have a Teams. It's like a Teams conference puck. It's like a little puck. It's like this big, and it has a Teams logo on it. A phone has a volume, and it has a little microphone. Yeah, it's
fancy, man.
Well, it
was
that
about provided, or did you buy that?
No. I had like this little cheap one from Amazon because I don't like to have. Yeah, I had this little cheap like conference mic from Amazon because I don't like to like.
Means like $300.
Nah, it's not that expensive, dude. Trust me. That's probably why it wasn't the greatest thing. But no, I don't like to like sit with headphones on all day. I mean, like I put on headphones for the show, and when I'm out, I put on headphones because sometimes you can't really do a conference mic when you're out in the open. But like when I'm sitting at home, I have conference microphones. Like I have like a conference microphone. I had one before. I wasn't bold enough to go all out with the real hardcore conference mic, but. My company, they sell this little, it's like a little small one that's made just for like Teams integration. So I use that.
It's hilarious how you say my company is like it's like some little small fucking company.
Hey man, you know I don't like to.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, everybody knows a company, bro. Wait, yeah.
Well, they don't know it because I walk around like blasting about it. They know because just in conversation. But it's really cool, man. It's like I don't know if I can't really show it on camera because it's.
If you want to know Reggie's company, you can look him up on LinkedIn. It's on.
I can't show it because it's hooked to the back of my computer. I don't want to do all that, but it's about this big. It has a little, like I said, it has a volume and a little red mic. That's the most important thing. You talk about with your hot mic when the mic is. You're muted when the mic is red, and I'm always like, "Is it off?" And I look and I see it's red. Yep, it's off. All right, let's go.
Yeah,
but this mic right here is just for the podcast because it's a much better mic.
Yeah. So I know we keep like jumping in and out of this thing. I think it's an important thing, right? This whole meetings with the camera on type thing. It's so important that my company, right? They said like all hands you have to have your camera on, which is crazy because like still like people still don't have the cameras.
How many people be in the all hands?
Oh, we got a small company, bro. Like I think we might be at 100 people, but it's a handful of people. It's a handful of people. But yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to know and see people, because a lot of bro, like when I was at Red Hat, I didn't meet. I was talking to these people for like over a year, because the first time we had a conference while I was there, it got canceled because of weather,
COVID,
right?
Oh, I thought it was COVID.
No, because I came in like after that was done. I think it might have been COVID too. Yeah, it might have been COVID. Yeah,
I know a lot of
COVID because like the first year I think we didn't have it because of COVID, but then maybe that next year. But whenever I got my first conference, that was the first time I met a lot of people that I had been working with over a year, and so to be able to like see people was like, hey, okay, cool. And even then, it's like a lot of times you just would only see people's like pictures because a lot of them didn't want to be on camera. So you'd only see like a still image, which it can give you like some kind of inkling of what a person looks like, but it doesn't really do justice to like the real animated person.
Man, I met a few people. So we had our first in person. This was like about a year or two ago. And man, let me tell you something. I could not, and I kept catching myself because I was like, stop saying it, Reggie. Because I was like, look, it was one guy. I was like, he looked like a little tiny Poindexter in his camera. This dude was like 6'5" or 6'4", like talking about basketball. I'm like, what? Like, dude, you got me, bro. Because I saw him, and it was this other cat, and he got the suit on, he smiled on the camera. I was like, this dude, and when I say big, I'm talking about linebacker big.
Wow.
Like, not like overweight. Like, I saw him in person, and I was like, holy crap, dude, like you are
Batista or something.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you are, and I kept saying it over, and I was like, dang, I hope I didn't offend him because it just kept coming out. Like, man, you a big fuck.
Bro, like,
it just kept coming out.
My director for the first time in real life, I was like, bro, you're a lot taller than I thought you was gonna be. Because, like, I don't know, like looking at the picture.
Hey, he didn't son you, did he?
Nah, he was cool. He was cool.
Like, yeah, that's right.
He was like, oh, wow,
that's
okay,
right.
Yeah. But I was like, damn, bro, like you tall, like because he was like he's a slender, guy, and all you really see is like shoulder up, type shit. And I was just like, damn, this dude.
Was he one of those guys?
6'3", 6'4", some stuff.
Was he one of those guys that like to have the camera on?
I don't know if he liked to have it on. I mean, he's a director. So I didn't really like interface with him like a whole lot. But I did talk to him quite a few times though. But it just went like it wasn't like as much as to be able to like answer that question. Not for me at least.
I mean it's crazy, bro. Like the difference that you see.
I think people should. A lot of people have a hard time like speaking, right? So speaking in front of people, I mean. So for you to not have people that can see you, I think that maybe eases it a little bit. even though that's the reasoning for people having a potential reason for people having their cameras up, I don't think it's adequate justification. I think, people should really work out those reservations about speaking, participate in like a Toastmaster or, do something like that. That was the reason why, like, when I do my training, mentorship, coaching type stuff with people that's trying to get into the space, I try to get them to present, so you can get more comfortable and confident while doing those things. Because when you interview, your camera's going to be on, bro. If you're not sitting right there across a table from people, if it's a panel or even if it's an individual, a one-on-one interview, if it's virtual, your camera is going to be on. You know what I mean?
Well, honestly, man, I mean, I get it, right? Because being an introvert is a real thing. And it's, yeah, it is. It's something you have to just, if you want to be in, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you want to be in this world of corporate face, like, I don't know. I don't even know the word I want to use, but it's just something you have to learn how to manage. It is, I cannot begin to tell you how hard it is for me. It's a struggle. Like, I went to the mothership a couple months ago, and when I say like our home corporate office, right?
Yeah.
And when I tell you, for people like me, being there, having all those people there, and it was like a conference of like really sharp people. I mean, luckily I had my wife to support me, type of thing, because I was really like, it's really hard to.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to like put my headphones and go in the corner because I just didn't want to, it was hard for me to interact because I'm like, how do I talk? Man. You get frozen, right?
Yeah,
like, how do I talk?
Palms are sweaty, you just vomit at mom's spaghetti type shit.
If you want to do that, you son of a gun. But yeah, I mean, like,
it's like that though. I mean, you get nervous, and the thing is, that people probably see you and they don't see that, right? They expect they think you cool as a cucumber and you good, because when people see you present, unless you just make some obvious mistake, they don't know these little mistakes that you make. They don't know when you stutter your words unless it's a pronounced thing, but that doesn't take away the nerve. Like, your nerves get crazy when you got to do these things.
And it's not even that, because the thing I hate and despise that I never want to happen, and this actually, believe it or not, this actually happened to me one time with my one of my wife's coworkers went to her because we went to an event and typical stuff. I struggle to talk, right? Like, they, like, hey, how's it going? You're, such and such husband, blah, blah, blah.
Just like in a conversation.
I'm struggling, right?
A group conversation.
Right. I'm struggling to talk. They told my wife they thought I was arrogant.
What?
Yeah, I'm like,
because you wasn't talking a lot, right? Is that why? That's crazy. Like, you not talking because you may be shy, but then they assume that you're arrogant or you stuck up or you think. That's like, and that's like the same stuff that a lot of us kind of went through in school probably. It's like you don't really like jump out there because you're nervous, and then people assume, no, you just don't want to talk to him because...
Oh, nose up. He's nose up.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, it could hurt you, like, there's worse things than stumbling over your words when you're talking. You could like get yourself screwed up by not talking and leaving people to their own devices, to construct the reality that you are not really playing an active role in crafting,
My goodness, brother, you went deep on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, that's how this thing works, though. You can either play a part in it, or you can let somebody else construct who you are in their story. Because you in your story, but you in everybody else's story too. You know what I mean? So yeah, you gotta be intentional about that stuff. Yeah, I go deep, man. This ain't all jokes and good looks, brother. I go deep, and I'm about to mess it up. Sounding intelligent for a second.
Why?
Hey,
why
man,
you want to sound intelligent?
I can't hold it long, man.
We don't
like
do
holding your breath.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Say smart stuff when I'm holding my breath. I got a smooth 45 seconds. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got about it, bro. I was just curious about it. Like I really wonder what people are like. I don't know. You like playing with your dogs or something? It's just like, I don't think it's bothering me, but I'm just super curious about it, you know? Like, cause you see the memes and stuff, like by these kids. They're in like these, back when they was doing the COVID classrooms and stuff. This one kid was like at an amusement park, I think, and he had these filters on. And it was like, yeah, can you turn your filters off? And yeah, I just imagine that these people are at like Busch Gardens when they're supposed to be in a meeting, waiting in one of them long ass lines. But,
so you seen the guy where the funny thing is the guy like will put like a green. He had like this backpack with a green screen on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He had that thing set up, man. He was doing his thing, man.
This is crazy, man.
Probably half my coworkers right there.
Like, sorry, why is the wind blowing?
Sorry.
Like, yeah. Why? No, I'm in my office. Can't you see him? Oh man, dude. Like, hey man. Like, yeah, man. I done seen some of the craziest stuff, man. Like, I'm not gonna get into it on the call. Like, if you want to talk to me afterwards, I'll show you. But I know some things about some people on some phone calls. I'm not gonna talk about it.
For real. Why you bring it up then if you ain't gonna share? That's the stuff that people want to hear about. The stuff they ain't supposed to hear about. I
done seen people like. Well, I don't know, but I've had people tell me like certain things go on. I mean, they do like, hey, they can't see me, so they just go all in.
What?
Yeah,
see, I'm like I'm crafting. This stuff is coming to mind. Like, what kind of obscenities these people doing with the camera off? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do any of those things. But yeah, I mean, I have started a meeting. Like, I've woken up late after like a crazy night. Just wake up late and just like roll over and start a meeting. It's like, oh my God, bro. Like one time, I was still at Red. There was one time, bro, like I started a meeting. I'm laying in my bed with my phone up like this. And I'm like, and I made a mistake and hit the wrong button, turned the camera on. Like nothing but bedposts behind my head. And I'm like, oh shit. Turn the thing off.
So here's the thing you need to make sure you're careful of, sir. I didn't know this, but somebody told me this before. I didn't even know this, right? So you're sitting there and you're on the camera, and like, I guess if you had your camera on, I think it's like a setting or something. I can't remember, but like if you have your camera on one meeting and then you go to the next meeting, it automatically has the camera on.
Yeah.
So like you think you're going to
remembers.
So, yeah. Like so, but I don't like that. We don't like that.
But you can set it in the setting and say, hey, I always start the meeting with my camera off or on or whatever. Well, I don't know about all apps, so it depends on which app you're using, if that's a feature or not. Because some people use Zoom, some people use Teams, some people use Google Meet, so it depends.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not a fan of Teams, to be honest. I think I'm just like used to using Google Meet.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, brother. I mean, of course, I'm not going to advocate. I mean, I try to be as impartial as I can when I'm on the show, but it's a matter of preference, brother. You know, like if you like, I know some people that'll swear up and down iPhone is better. I prefer Android. It's a use a product. You know, depending on what you think is better, is what you're used to and what you like.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like it depends on what you're used to, and that was what I was saying. I'm more used to using, Google Meet, for the chat piece. And it's just like I can't find my shit when I go to Teams. It's like I know how to do this with this other two, and that's why I don't, this whole agnostic thing. It's like it could be a problem. You're trying to be vendor agnostic because your team is acclimated to using this certain tool to do a certain thing, and it's gonna take some time for that conversion to happen where they know how to do those similar things, on other said platform or whatever device or application. So yeah, that's something to kind of take note of. But yeah, I think we've probably cracked the riddle and come to a consensus as far as like this whole webcam thing, and it seems like we agree. I mean, we voted on it, not like really, but in my head we voted on it, and we've decided that you guys should turn your cameras on so people can see what you're doing. I know some of y'all are pooping during meetings, and pinch it off and flush, wipe, wash your hands too, because that's nasty if you don't. And, join the meeting so people can see you, And that's all. That's all I got to say about it.
And remember, proper mic etiquette.
Proper mic etiquette, yeah.
Meaning like
before you flush.
Or when you go to the bathroom, don't wind up like Naked Gun. You remember Naked Gun? Where dude had the mic on in the bathroom. He was
dropping bombs.
No, he wasn't dropping bombs. He had like the like that League of Their Own pee. He's like peeing for like 5 minutes, and he's singing and everything in the toilet, like just unloading, draining it all. Remember League of Their Own with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Remember he came in the next day from a drunk stupor and just was like, my gosh. So just for reference, the Naked Gun, which they're actually remaking it, which is funny. And Leslie Nielsen played, Frank Drebin, and he was doing a speech, and he left the mic on like right here where he was on, and then he left the stage, went to the bathroom, and was just like la da 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 da.
For 3 whole business.
he's just like shaking like like oh yeah. I mean it was crazy, bro. It was the funniest thing, and I just remember that. I remember that from a thing. That's why every time I go to the bathroom, because sometimes I do have my headset on, or the conference mic, I'd be like, man, did I mute? Cause
I'm gonna start doing that when I pee, man. I'm gonna start saying la da da.
So here's the crazy part, right? You ever like I know I could put my microphone on mute, and I know everything like that, but soon as you go up,
somebody gonna say your name.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna say it never fails, man.
Reggie, you there?
I had this thing off safety the whole damn time, and as soon as I put it on safety, somebody got a question for me. What do you think? Like, what? Why do you never care about what I thought for the first 25 minutes? Why are you caring about what I think right now as we get ready to close out? Like, what do you mean, man? Like, I try to stay out of the way, man, but some people
that's
let me be
so
great.
funny, dude. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny.
It's crazy. Because it's a universal thing, man. It's like the universe is doing things to you. Like, crazy. But yeah. So, as we close this thing out, though, I mean, it's been I'm not going to say we learned anything new. But it's funny to know that we all experience like the same stuff, right? But I do think it's important to know like some of the important reasons for like having your camera open. Communication is definitely constrained when you don't have the visual aspect. But I would be remiss if I didn't, let you guys know if you have a topic that you think we should talk about, or if there's a topic that you want to come on the show and join us in having a discussion on, like reach out to us. You can reach me, Reggie, Ebony, through our socials, or you can hit the Develop Every Mind social or Dem Tech Folks social on any of the platforms. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X, email. We're pretty much all over the place, and you can find us at Dem Tech Folks. That's DEM Tech Folks. Just drop us a note. If you think we're doing a great job, drop us a note for that. Encouragement, affirmations are always welcome, because sometimes, just like everything else we do in life, sometimes this thing is hard. And you don't know if you're doing it right. Like we may not know if we're like reaching people, or if we're saying something that, people actually want to hear that's going to help them and stuff like that. So let us know, like if there's something that's a hard conversation that you just need more insight, or you need a perspective outside of your own. Yeah, let us know. We'll chop it up, or we'll bring you on the show to chop it up with you. That's kind of why we have the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't have to be in that order, but you definitely got to do all of that stuff. Share with your friends. Share with people that ain't your friends, your enemies too. They may turn to your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for turning me on to that awesome podcast,
right,
bro.
And I no longer hate you, and I don't care that you owe me $40. That's the thing. Also, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, coming this May 16th, next Friday, actually.
That's coming up. Dang, man, that's already
coming
here,
in
bro.
hot. It's coming in hot, bro. B-Sides Tampa. Big shout out to B-Sides. The B-Sides team has been doing some tremendous work getting up ready and gearing up for this huge conference, right? I'm going to be posting some information about that on the socials, so definitely tap in, follow the socials so you can get information on that. Yours truly, along with my brother and two of my other brothers, we're going to be delivering a course on deploying and securing Kubernetes clusters for beginners, right? As of now, I got an email saying that the course was full, but I checked to see if they could open capacity. I'm not sure like what the room holds, but I told them like add 10 more seats if they could, just because I have more help than I thought I was gonna have in delivering the course. So be on the lookout for that. Those seats may be opened up if you would like to join the course and learn a little bit about Kubernetes. It's a great tool, a great platform to use. But yeah, and just like I said, lock in and let us know what you think about the show. You got anything you want to talk to the people about before we close this out, Rich?
No, not really. I mean, I got a few things going on, but it's some of this stuff is like either gone or you have to be going to a certain university to be a part of it. So,
yeah. Are we still doing interviews? Are we still doing interviews during the conference or no? We might be doing interviews.
Yeah.
We might be doing interviews. Yeah.
I would love to. I would love to. Last we did. So just in case you guys don't know, we did some really awesome interview cycle while we were at B-Side St. Pete last year. That was really, really fun. Really, really cool. A lot of people gave us some positive feedback on that. So
yeah, and I got some swag too. So if you can be at the conference, check us out. We got some swag, some conference-based swag, and we also have some swag that's just us, just our stuff, our brand, some real cool stuff, too. So I definitely took my time with the designs on these. I think you guys will like it, so definitely look us up. I'll be dropping. I'm trying to set up a online presence so people can kind of pop in and order swag as they want without having to go through us. But just for right now, I just kind of ordered a handful of shirts that people can kind of pull from me if they feel so feel the need to. But yeah, man, without pushing the thing a little bit longer, let's close it out. I don't know. I kind of felt like I was supposed to say something else, but nothing came. Usually I open my mouth and things come out. You know what I mean? Words come out. But yeah, didn't happen right then. That was kind of weird. So
that reminded me of that joke with Dave Chappelle where he was like on the phone with his manager and his manager didn't know what to say. He was like, "All right, man, peace out." He was like, zippity-doo-dah. He was like, he know what to say.
I'll say that next time. Next time I get stuck, I'm zippity-doo-dah. All right.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, we close this thing out.